Guys, what's up? It's Kitty Candy and the Droker here with another episode of From Comics to Cinemas podcast. For those of you who don't know, we are gamers on Twitch and huge comic book nerds, and you can see the links to those channels in the description of this podcast and at the end of the podcast. So be sure to drop us a follow. Remember, you can catch the live recording of the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Candyland Discord, and I am super excited to talk about this guy for our season finale. Can you believe that tonight is the season 2 finale?
Season 2, man.
I can't believe it. It is crazy. And we're gonna
have some kind of nuts.
We're gonna have some changes for next season, but until then, we get to talk about probably one of the most powerful mages.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're going to be talking about one of the most powerful mages in the DC universe. I almost said EU, but it's pretty much EU. Whatever. Yeah, right. He's a working class magician. He's kind of a con man. He's one of the most powerful mages in DC. I think I said that. He's chain smoking. He's the Hellblazer. That's right. If you haven't figured it out by now, it is Constantine.
Constantine, yes, elephant in the room. That is how you say the name. I'm not going to say it that way, but that's how you say it.
Yeah, that's how you say it. I'm probably going to say Constantine. I'm probably going to flip back and forth. So I apologize to everyone who's like, well, it's Constantine. Yes, I know it is. We know. But it's so wildly accepted as Constantine now.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it follows like the inverse square freedom law, right? Like the further you are away from America, the more you say Constantine, and the closer you are, it's Constantine, right? Like it's just how it is. I don't know. It's not how it is in my head anyway.
I don't know which guy came up with that, but I'm gonna roll with it. I've never heard of that.
Right now, just happened. The Roman emperors. The Roman emperors did. There you go. There you go. It's law. And this podcast is already derailed.
I think that's a record for us.
That took no time. But yeah, so which I say the UK thing because he is he's from Liverpool. He's like you said, blue collar. I think I read they wanted him to be a blue collar warlock.
Yes,
was what I think it was Alan Moore was when he in an interview he wanted. That was what he's like. That was my whole goal because he actually didn't appear in his own. He wasn't Hellblazer. He appeared in Swamp Thing.
Yes, which was actually really cool. That was his first appearance, and he basically like snapped Swamp Thing out of kind of the funk that he was in. So,
yeah, and honestly, that's probably, if not the greatest retcon in comic history, is one of the greatest retcons in comic history because it really opened up It didn't change a whole lot, but opened up Swamp Thing.
It did
to a whole new universe, and because of it, we got Constantine. We got John. We got
John,
which they modeled after the rock star Sting. Yeah, I didn't know that until recently. I really didn't. Which you would think I would, but yeah.
I'm really disappointed that you didn't.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, I could. Makes sense now. Especially the Hellblazer, the Volume 1 comics. Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he definitely resembles him.
And he's really cool, and the thing about Constantine is he's a hero, but he's also an anti-hero. Like, you know, he's never a bad guy, but he also serves things to make things go his way.
Yeah, he's one of those, the ends the ends matter more than the means to get there for him. He will literally sacrifice anybody to get the situation resolved in the right way. It may not be the way you want it or like it, but it is the right way, usually the way he does it. So
it is. And he's a really cool character. He's had tie-ins with, oh my gosh, pretty much everybody.
Yeah, he's been on and off the Justice League. He's on Justice League Dark, which is a whole another like branch of the Justice League that deals with just like magical like
it's
stuff.
It's basically like for you Marvel fans out there, it's basically like Midnight Suns.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Actually. Yeah. They deal with that aspect of the DC universe. But more often than not, those aspects of the universe cross over with mainstream continuity and storylines. So especially recently. So.
Yes, very recently.
Yeah. It's interesting. He's had 2 origins that I know of so far. There was the original origin, which he strangled his twin brother in the womb, and his mother died giving birth, and his
dad hated him
for everything. Yeah. And then there's another one, which I think it's Jeff Lemire. Uh, they kind of like, I guess, a retcon, or maybe it was like a new universe telling. I kind of didn't understand what was going on, but he more along the lines of the movie. He did a spell as a child,
Right.
and the cost of the spell
Because
was
there's always a
a
cost.
sacrifice. There's always a cost to spells. That's how they work. And he didn't know that because he was a kid. He was messing with forces he didn't know, and the cost of the spell was he burned down his parents' house and with the parents inside of it. So he
Right.
had to
His,
live with killing his
yeah.
parents. So either origin, very tragic.
Very tragic.
Yeah.
So, and then he kind of traveled around and did various occult things.
Very, very, very heavily into the occult stuff and into
Very
the
heavily.
whole black magic in general.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people, because they think of, which we're gonna talk about, obviously, is Keanu Reeves's version. Reeves words version of Constantine, and that's mostly, he's basically more of like an exorcist type deal in that movie. But in all actuality, if you look at him from the comics and from even like the CW, where he appeared on the CW series, and the animated series, like he dealt with all forms of the occult.
Yeah, I mean, he survived the Apocalypse War in the animated movies. It's not just like the magic stuff. Like he deals with the big bads too. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of an all and like you said, the con man thing is really funny because I would argue that's probably his strongest attribute is his mouth and the ability to get people to do what he wants.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
like he also has kind of this thing where like he's very lucky,
Yeah,
right?
he's kind of got a domino thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he'll like win big money and
Yeah, I think they
be able to
describe it
get
as
out of situations.
he's in tune with like some synchronistic energy, and so like
Yes.
he's always in the right place at the right time, lucky as hell kind of situation.
Which, why can't I have that, man?
I'm saying that's a not a good power, but like that among the other things that the man can do is one of the few things he can do. But yeah, and he also has like he almost has like a sixth sense in cities too. Like he knows where and when things, especially when it comes to magic, when it's
Oh
being
yeah.
used and where it's being used. He gets like Zatanna as well, but they kind of sense it.
Yeah,
So
which him and Zatanna had a little bit of a thing.
they did until well,
Until he unalived her dad, sort of.
yeah, he kind of so there's a theme in if you read Hellblazer and Constantine the New 52 both, there's a theme where sometimes Constantine gets a hold of magic he's not fully in control of or fully knows what's going on. He just kind of knows about it, and we'll just see how it goes.
Which is
And
like,
sometimes people die.
I mean, like, look, I wing a lot of stuff, right? But I feel
I
like
do too.
magic, you shouldn't wing it.
I can wing a steak and potatoes. Yeah, I feel like somebody's life in magic and evil force is probably not the best idea, but
Yeah,
that's Constantine.
yeah.
That's
That's
him. Like life
basically
literally
it.
I say life doesn't matter to him. It does at the end of the day, but if he has to kill you to get to the end of that day, he will. So, it's a kind of the man's a walking contradiction, which is probably why I love him so much.
Oh, he 100% is. And I mean, he's like the hero we need, but not the hero
Yeah.
we want.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's the one we deserve, but not necessarily the one we even want to acknowledge that we want because he just like one example was because like okay, so mere mortals can't kill demons. You have to have like a powerful spell or basically not be
Mhm.
mortal to kill a demon. So with that being said, John Constantine can't really kill demons. Well, early on in his career, so he trapped a demon in his friend's body. And but the only way you can do that is if you willingly accept the demon into your body. So he tricked his friend to accept the demon in his body and killed his friend that way.
Yeah, I don't think I ever want to be friends with John Constantine.
Or at least if you do, don't run across any demons.
No, no, still
I
just not
mean,
going to be friends.
I was gonna say even no, because yeah, he even was Zatanna's father. I mean, he loved Zatanna, so I guess that really didn't matter either.
Well, and he had a little bit of a fling with Zatanna's father.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he had and I mean, if we're and King Shark
Yeah, that one is kind of very weird to me.
and a repeating one with oh god, what's Blythe?
Yes, the
One of the
demon.
demons. One of the they literally
Which,
just shag.
okay, like, okay, look, isn't that kind of a double standard?
Yeah, right. Hello. I believe that the term for Constantine
Is
is actually omnisexual.
yeah.
Like literally ethereal beings, non-corporeal bodies, energies, demons, angels, big
Shark.
sharks. He even on the same note, he allowed Alec Holland to take control of his body so he could make love to his wife, because if you follow the whole Swamp Thing, we're not gonna get
Mhm.
into that. That's actually a big, huge deal because, like, he basically hadn't touched his wife in I don't know how long. So that was and so the dude's got a heart too, but I mean, again, at the end of the day, it was Constantine's body that did it. So, meh,
Any hoozle.
yeah, guy gets around, but it's done. The thing is it's done usually in a tasteful way. I don't know how DC pulls it off, especially in the '80s with the '80s being as gritty as it was in DC, but they did. So kudos to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is great. So, but he's like, I want to kind of just like briefly talk about maybe some of his like major story arcs.
Okay. So the Moore run obviously was kind of groundbreaking because
Mhm.
it literally established Constantine. Not only that, but Constantine was kind of the literary device in which the readers and Swamp Thing both got an introduction to Swamp Thing's like new powers and like new origin kind of thing. And it was really cool to see it told from Constantine's viewpoint as like a literary like device. Like we're not just gonna. It wasn't like in just text at the top of the page like Swamp Thing's new powers. It was like this whole like dialogue between Constantine and Swamp Thing, and he like doesn't even tell him the full story. He like leaves him hanging and was like, "Yeah, in a week, meet me in Chicago, and I'll tell
Oh,
you the rest." Kind of
yeah.
situation. So it's like it wasn't. It was true Constantine fashion. He's like, "Oh yeah, you want to know more? Yeah, I got more important crap I got to go do. I'll tell you more later."
Which is
Um,
like kind of
yeah,
that's when you're just kind of like, yo, wait, but you're already
yeah,
here?
yeah, because you're getting a lot of answers and then none. You're like that's when they established the whole elemental green thing with Swamp Thing. So, but it was him. That was when he, and that's also when he established the whole trench coat and kind of smoking thing as
Well,
well.
and it's actually interesting how he got the coat.
Right, they act well, yeah, yeah, that they added that in later,
Yeah.
which was from Bueller? Bueller? Come on, Nick Necro.
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
Necro
No,
had
I
the
was
trench
like, I
coat.
thought I was like,
No, and I was waiting for B or somebody in the chat.
oh,
No, Nick Necro, sorry, yeah, Nick Necro was the one who originally had it. He was, I guess kind of a mentor,
yeah. He,
to Zatanna and Constantine.
well, and he was with Zatanna.
Oh, Zatara too,
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Well,
Or no, it was just Zatanna. I think it was
no,
just
no,
Zatanna. I
it
think
was
it was
just
just
Nick,
Zatanna. Yeah,
Zatanna, and
yeah.
Constantine.
Yeah, because they had the love triangle thing going on. But Nick, which surprise. But he ends up turning. He ends up getting obsessed with the books of magic, and he creates like he basically what's the word I'm looking for? He like sins. It's like he what he does is like unforgivable. So he like basically is outcast, sent to hell essentially. And then he's the leader of the group that they've been trying to stop the entire time, which was another ultimate betrayal. So
Yeah.
he just basically turns his entire. And then of course that's when Z and Constantine get in a relationship. They bond because they trained basically together. And then
As things
Lemire's
happen.
run too. Lemire's run, I don't know too much about. I'm just getting into it. There's a whole new power level established for Constantine. He takes on the nothingness that is in between the big bangs. Oh god, what's the name? Paralia or something like that. I know I'm butchering the name. Um,
Us butcher names?
what?
Never.
That doesn't happen here.
I know.
But yeah, it's a whole new like. It's not just him, but it's him in the Justice League Dark. But it really showcases the level of magic that this guy can actually throw down, and then like he knows, and the fact that he just knows it. The dude just knows all these spells. It's crazy to think about. And that's the thing about him is that he's extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
He's very much I will outwit you over. It's, if he doesn't have to fight you, he's not going to fight you, and that's what you got to be concerned about because a lot of the times people take advantage of that and they're like, oh, he's not fighting me, but he's like, he's not fighting you for a reason, my guy. Like he's going to put you under a spell, or he's going to summon a golem, or he's going to, Here's the thing: as much as you hate Constantine, he knows somebody or something that hates you more and he will usually strike a deal or a bargain with said entity to fight you. So you're not going to win
And that's the thing too is like he really does only use like the magic when he has to.
when he has to. Yeah. He's not a flagrant magic user. Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah. Those are the ones I wanted to mention. What you got?
Well, I mean,
Quick Injustice.
yes.
Another example of his trickery is he actually knew he couldn't beat Superman because Superman, if you guys know anything about that story arc, he goes crazy. and basically takes over the Earth, and he's got like, the Yellow Lantern power as well. So he's like crazy, scary Superman.
Right, because that's the
He,
one
yeah,
where Lois dies.
yeah, Joker kills
Yeah.
Lois, and Clark just loses it, and he puts Superman. He puts that Superman under a spell because they know they're not going to win in a fight, and he actually puts him in a dream state. And in the dream state, Lois lives. Bruce kills the Joker, and none of that bad stuff ever happened. Naturally, he breaks out of it, but just to kind of give you, he can handle soups.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really like The Devil You Know.
Mhm.
So that's when he's with the Newcastle crew, which was kind
Oh
of like the
yeah,
crew that he ran with. And this is when
yeah,
he's not yet like up to par with his
right.
magic skills. And this is actually kind of what the show that NBC, I think it was NBC had when NBC had the Constantine
Mhm.
show out was loosely based off of, and I shouldn't say loosely, it was actually pretty decent. So basically they're trying to save this young girl named Astra from a demon, but the problem is the spell that he used was too powerful and actually sent Astra directly to the demon, and that really like haunted Constantine for or Constantine for a long time. And then my next one is part of kind of like a multi group. It's Deceased. I love
Oh
him
yeah.
in the Deceased story arc because it kind of took a turn that I didn't expect it to go. And it was kind of crazy because he ended up non-existing because he was like, if I die, I go to hell, and there are a lot of demons down there
Hmm.
that want me down there. So, but
Yeah.
Deceased is a really kind of crazy roller coaster zombie ride. It's so
I
good for
just got my first
Halloween.
issue, and I can't wait to get into it.
Oh,
Mhm.
spoilers.
No, 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 no. It's dude. It's always. I've already read up on it. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're good. Nah, yeah. I would have said something.
I was gonna
No,
be
no, no.
like,
I'm
worst
good.
co-host ever.
No, no, no. Yeah, I actually got it because because it was a variant cover of Joker as a zombie, and
Oh
I just
yeah.
grabbed it, and I didn't even really know what the issue of the comic was. I literally just grabbed it because of the cover art, and I was like, oh, it's a Deceased comic. Well, I'm collecting this now, I guess. That's
I
literally how
really,
it happened.
like I when the Deceased route went that way, like you
Mhm.
think they're just gonna be fighting like zombies, and it's like, oh no, this big demon that's also gonna end the world is gonna come and appear because of all the zombiness.
Yeah,
Zombiness?
I gotta look into that because it looks really good from what I've looked into.
Yeah,
Honestly, it looks good.
it's really good. And you know, John is such a complicated, complex character. And it takes like I thought Matt Ryan did a great job
Mhm,
playing him. I think Keanu did a good job playing the Keanu version because
mhm.
it was basically like what you said. Keanu Reeves presents,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Presents
So
Constantine. Yeah,
yeah,
I think he did a good job. They really laid into the more what's the word I'm looking for? What's the Catholicism theme that's like it's like Gothic. But anyway, I can't forget the name of the term, but they leaned into that really heavy for the movie because of the exorcism parts, which he can do, which
it's
we talked
yeah,
about earlier. But they definitely really went into the whole biblical angel hell versus heaven thing, which is funny because in the movie they talk about, if he dies, there's like they fight over his soul.
hmm
That happens in the comics too. Like
yes,
there's a battle for his soul every time he dies.
yeah. So it's that movie actually kind of a little bit mimicked a little bit Dangerous Habits, right? A
Yes,
little
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
because like that's where he learns that he has lung disease because
Mhm.
this man smokes more cigarettes than
Oh
like
man.
it was
He's
easy, like 2 packs a day.
Is he one of the few I think he's one of the few remaining comic book characters that actually still smokes
Probably.
because of the whole ADA, healthy movement, which I'm not shunning or anything, but that is kind of integral to this dude's character.
It really is. And you know what? I'm glad that they didn't,
Yeah.
take that away from him because it's part of who he is,
I
right?
think they did in like Batman Brave and the Bold. They gave him like a lollipop, but it's a kid's
Oh
show.
yeah,
So
that was a kids show. Yeah, they 100% did because I
yeah,
remember um, watching some stuff on that and being like, "Why does this man have a
he's got a
lollipop?"
lollipop. Yeah.
And I never put two and two together that they had to do that instead of the cigarette.
Because he does have like an oral fixation thing, and like
Hmm.
it's mentioned in the comics. He just is. It's a thing. He's the dude smokes because he knows he can't really die. Well, in the traditional sense, I
And
guess I
yeah,
should clarify. I should
yeah.
clarify. In the traditional sense, he can't. He can't. Which he did that before, which you were talking about. Actually, interestingly enough, in a one shot, the Future's End, Constantine one shot. He basically fights Doctor Fate, and right as like he puts on the helmet, he says a spell, and it transfers them to like this like in between universe. But it's like an Egyptian in between universe, and there's like a big like Egypt. I forget the god's name off the top of my head right now, but they argue and size and the whole thing. There's like a whole dialogue. I don't want to ruin it. It's really cool. But basically, he tricks the god into killing Fate in the boo, so he can take off the helmet. So like again, he knows he can't. It was Anubis. Thank you. He knows he can't fight Fate straight up. Like he knows this magic versus magic user. It's not going to end well. So what does he do? Completely like just changes the game.
Which, like, okay, if you're an Egyptian god, how would you feel that you just got duped? Would you just be like, oh, wait.
Which they touched on in the Keanu Reeves thing with the cat.
Oh, yeah.
With looking into the whole the cats being the spirit, the gateway, the Egyptians believe that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's 100% an Egyptian thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I am excited for the new sequel. I am excited that they announced, the second one. It was in an interview, he's been known to say that was the one movie he wanted to return on that
Hmm.
he was not being paid to say. He just likes the character.
Yeah, which is great. And it always like makes me happy to know when actors who play characters love those characters,
Yeah.
right? So you've got Keanu loving John, you've got John Berthenol loving Frank Castle,
Mhm.
like so it always makes me like feel good. Like, okay, you're nerdy just like us.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it's again, it was the movie comic accurate? But it didn't have to be. There was no universe for it to fit in
There
at the
was
time.
no
It's
universe.
2005. We had Batman Begins, and, like, that was about it. Like, there was no connected universe, so it didn't have to be like the comics.
And to be fair, a lot of people probably up until the CW had no idea that for in like Legends of Tomorrow that
Mhm.
Constantine is actually a DC character.
Yeah, what's funny is you get people to watch that, and you tell them it's a DC movie, and they look at you like, "What?" And then at the
Yeah.
very end, the logo comes up, and you're like, "See?" And they're like, "What?" And you're like, "Yeah, dude," but because it was a movie. It wasn't a comic book
Right.
movie. It was a movie. So again, I'm okay with it. It predates everything. It was very loosely based, but I'm a Keanu fanboy, so come on, man. The guy, he acted his butt off in that film. That was a good film. And
I
the
liked
guy they
it.
got to play the devil, I
Oh,
forget
what was
his
his
name.
name?
He actually looks like the devil from the comic book. So I understand, which I saw a picture of it when I was doing research for this podcast, and I was like, "Holy crap! That whoever did that, like that casting, dude, it looked exactly like him." I was like, "Oh my god, they ripped him out of the pages."
Okay, so with the sequel being announced, I
Mhm.
want to start the tinfoil hat. What do you think they're going to do with it?
Mm. The nerd in me wants a Doctor Fate cameo, or at least a helmet cameo, a Naboo, or at least an Easter egg of it. I want them to connect it. I want them to, but I don't. I don't want to go into another DC rant. I would like for them to connect it. I don't think they're going to. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. If anything, they may connect it to the Sandman universe.
Yes. If anything, well, see, no, maybe because that's probably why they used Joanna
Oh, that's
Constantine
right.
instead of
That's
John.
right.
Maybe they were trying to do that. I'm still unsure on why that move was made. Trying to figure that one out because in the comic books, it is Constantine that crosses over with Sandman a lot in
Yeah.
Gotham,
Oh yeah.
actually. So
100%. Because
maybe,
he was mentioned in, I think it was like issue 2 or something, 2 or
yeah, I
3 of
forget. Yeah,
Sandman, like
yeah.
very early on.
Yeah, Gaiman actually wrote some Constantine. I believe he wrote like some later issues of the Hellblazer stuff. So he obviously had a firm grasp of the character and the whole universe. So yeah, it was definitely a licensing issue, but what bothers me is why not just full send it into the Sandman universe, use that as an introduction for the character, then ride the hills off of that into a Constantine show into the HBO Max. But now that we know the whole Discovery merger is going on,
It's everything is up in the air.
everything's completely up in the air now. I would love for them to connect a Swamp Thing. I would love for them to do like an actual Justice League Dark universe. I would love to see Deadman, Nightmare Nurse, Swamp Thing, Constantine, Batman, a cameo, Zatanna, Zatara, Doctor Fate. Any of these would love it, but I don't. You know, we're getting JSA. That's all we know for sure. So we're getting
Yeah.
Fate.
Yeah, and I mean, they could do a Justice League Dark. They really could.
I think they should.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily if they would use Keanu for that. It's hard to
No.
say. Like,
Yeah, I say you go Matt Ryan for if you're
I
gonna
say
do
you
a
go
DC
Matt
extended
Ryan.
universe. I say you go Matt Ryan. If
Oh
you're gonna
yeah,
continue to stand alone, then do Keanu.
yeah.
I agree
And
with you.
I really liked Matt Ryan as Constantine. Is like, I thought he did a good job. Plus, he looked the part,
Hmm.
and he
Hmm.
voiced him in the
Hmm.
animated.
Correct, in, like, every animated movie, it's
Yeah,
Matt Ryan's voice.
except for one.
I think 1,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because when I was
Yeah,
watching
so it's
something
literally him.
today, it was like, and Matt Ryan also voiced, and Matt
Mhm.
Ryan also voiced, and Matt Ryan also voiced, and then so and so voiced. And I was like, hold up, wait, what? And it was the one where he
Yeah.
was eating the lollipop. And I was like,
Yeah. I think I would love if they're not I don't know, man. I either want either if they're gonna main either character, if it's either gonna be Keanu or Matt Ryan in a DCEU hypothetical situation, I would want the other one that's not in it to either be a cameo or like an Easter egg, like a mentor to the other kind of situation.
oh. Or would you want like a crisis event?
You could do a crisis event, or even, I was just thinking about completely throw a curveball and make Keanu play Nick Necro and use Matt Ryan as Constantine.
Oh, yes.
Nah, yeah, dude, make Keanu do like an evil Constantine. Yeah,
Well, he does actually. Well, he doesn't, but there is like the demon Constantine
hmm
whenever he marries oh god, what's her name? Epiphany,
Epiphany. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Like Demon John replaces him at the
That's
ceremony.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Which, of course, that's the whole situation. The thing about it.
Actually,
At the,
that would be kind of a cool one to do. But of course,
yeah,
they can't kind of do that because they don't look alike, although they could kind of do that
they
because
could kind of do it.
magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Like I'm so torn because I want them both to play Constantine. I like them both. I really do. I think Keanu. This is just the bottom line that Keanu would just draw a better audience,
Oh, he 100% would.
just when it comes down to money and everything. And we know DC's all about the money. Canceling Batgirl, jerks. I was actually looking forward to that. I'm sorry. I wanted to see Frazier as Firefly. I really did.
I wanted to see Keaton back as Batman.
I know, and all that's being real. Okay, don't get me started. Okay, Constantine. So
This is
yes,
what happens every time we talk about a DC character.
I just want to rage because it's in my head. I have things, and that's my thing. Anyway, some other I think really important runs was Azzarello's run too. Which if you guys know Azzarello,
Oh
he's written a
yeah.
lot of stuff. Most notably to me was with Lieber Mayho. They did a Joker graphic novel
Mhm.
that was phenomenal writing, phenomenal artwork. Anything Azzarello does, I highly recommend. Personally, I know a lot of people may not like his style of writing, but I do. I think the guy's great. Um, and some more stuff to look into. Definitely the
That was
Sandman stuff if you're
that
into
was
Sandman.
the Azzarello's run. That's the one where he goes to jail, right?
Correct. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That is the one where he goes to jail. Yeah. It's a pretty interesting story. I like Azzarello. I can't. I'm just kind of a fanboy when it comes to certain things, and I just can't help it. But
We
we
all
had some
are.
really great writers. We had, I mean, kudos to Jamie Delano, who did the entire first like Hellblazer, basically fleshed out what we know as the a-hole John Constantine that we know and love today was basically because of him. Um, Alan Moore laid the foundation. Delano basically laid it out for us, and it
Hmm.
was so great. And I'm actually collecting the Hellblazer stuff. It's great stuff. Of course, Neil Gaiman did 27-week Grant Morrison. Not a lot of people like Grant Morrison, but he did a couple issues. Yeah, Garth Ennis. You had Paul Jenkins, excuse me. Darko McCann, Mike Carey. You had a lot of people writing on this stuff that just I don't know, man. There's a lot of good artists came out of this as well too, like Lieber Mayho, Simon Bisley, all these guys still doing covers and doing great stuff today. So you know, it's been a who's who working through the Hellblazer stuff for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the thing too, is like John's been around for a while,
a
but I
while.
feel like he's really come to light more recently over the past 10, 15 years. Maybe
I
I'm
gotta,
wrong.
gotta think. I gotta think about the year right now. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Keanu film, the 2000 film,
Hmm.
definitely helped. I think the Lemire, the new, and I know people don't like the New 52 stuff, but I do get over it. The Lemire Justice League Dark and Constantine stuff, I think revitalized them in print as well because again, there's a whole lot of power level stuff going crazy in those comics.
Yeah.
Um, so I think those really revived this popularity. I know right now, currently, I think it's John Constantine is the Hellblazer. I think is the name of
Yes.
the comic.
Yes.
That's currently going on. Know nothing about it to be completely honest with you. I haven't looked into I've
I
been
haven't.
more focused on the stuff I've been collecting, so but yeah, that's it's going on currently. He had, one of the longest runs for a really long time before they did, like, a whole new volume. It was like it was years. It was years and years and years and years and years and years.
Which is
It was
like
crazy.
eons in DC time.
Especially recently, because the latest trend has been number ones. They're all number ones now because number ones sell issues, but that's a whole different podcast. But yeah, so there's been a lot of reboots, quote unquote, but not really. Um, yeah, it's been he's a hell of a character. No pun intended. Um, he you either love him or you hate him. I love him.
I love him.
No,
And he's got like some crazy powers, right? Like besides just like being adept at magic, like he can astral project, he can stop time, he's
hmm
got cosmic awareness, dimensional travel, he's got enhanced senses, like I can't even illusion casting. He's basically like he is one of the most powerful mages.
nah,
Like
necromancy, pyromancy. He can deal with hellfire itself. He can summon
mhm.
hellfire. Which hello, what? Okay, Ghost Rider. Um, yeah, he like just whatever power you want to think. The answer is yes.
Yes.
With save like super strength, right? Again, we've talked about that. He's not going to fight you unless he has to.
Right.
He's not a brawny kind of guy. He smokes 2 packs a day. He's not gonna run very far either. So, let's be honest. He doesn't have to run. It's Constantine, but you get my point.
He did run in Deceased and it was kind
He
of funny. Cuz he
Okay,
was
now I
just
have to
like
read it. I'm so happy they leaned into that. That's one of the beauties of writing a character that smokes is because you have stuff you can lean into for, like, just comic relief like that. Like, that to me, that's funny. That's great. 'Cause you okay, now imagine, like, the whole Justice League running and you got a Constantine just, I need a cigarette.
That's why he can teleport.
Yeah, he can. He can tell he doesn't have he doesn't he and we talked about it. He doesn't unalive in the traditional sense. Whenever he does that, it's there's always some kind of crazy his spirit goes somewhere and it ain't heaven or hell, but it goes somewhere and yeah, it's nuts.
It's always like an off-put plan B.
He's harder on himself than anyone
He
in the
really
DC
is.
universe could ever be. That's the one thing. He is super, super hard on himself.
Well, and that's because too like he does push things to the extreme,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
In
yeah,
order
yeah.
to, you
Achieve
know,
what he wants.
yeah, get the right outcome,
Yeah, to
even
get the goal,
though,
yeah.
yeah. And so, unfortunately, with things like Astra and in his, I think it was the New 52 is where his parents died because of the
Mhm,
spell. Like
mhm,
he
mhm.
carries that guilt. So anytime someone dies, like even Zatara, like he carried that guilt.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why in the grand scheme of the DC, like the universe, when it comes to like bigger powers, they understand his role because he does care about humanity. Again, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, at the very end goal, he does care about humanity. You may not always like how he gets there. In fact, a lot of the times you're not going to like
You're
how he
not
gets
gonna
there,
like how he gets there.
but he's always up for the betterment of of humankind and mankind in general, which is why we all love him. I think it's why it's a great character. It's a character you're like, "Duh, why'd you do that, John? Why'd you do?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
not what I would have done, but sure."
Like, I love also like his interactions with Dr. Fate too. They're so good.
Oh, there's
Like,
because fate because Naboo wants him.
yeah. Well, and it's funny because, Fate's little castle thing,
Mhm.
there's a room in there that Fate doesn't know is in there, but Constantine knows that that room is there.
Yep. Again, he just knows things. The man just knows, like, how he knew about Swamp Thing's entirely new power set. He just knows things, man. He's in the know. Yeah,
Imagine
he's a good
being
character.
that much in the know.
Yeah, imagine. Imagine. Oh, yeah, I it's if you're gonna get into anything now, that save the New 52 stuff or the Hellblazer 80 stuff, I would definitely recommend
Hmm.
DC Rebirth, Hellblazer. Um, DC Rebirth in general was just good. It was just good stuff. IMO.
Did you
Take
really
it or leave
just
it.
say
Take
IMO?
it. IMO. Take it or leave it. If you want like crazy crossover stories and like you want more into like Justice League Dark, then definitely do the New 52 stuff for sure.
Hmm.
If you want more canonical, like origin, like you want to see the first appearance of like Papa Midnight and like Hellblazer 1, start with Hellblazer 88 or 80. Oh, God, yeah,
Which
it's
I
88
was really surprised that Papa Midnight showed up
in the movie.
in the movie. I did
Uh,
not expect that.
yeah, oh
So,
God, what a good actor they picked for that too.
oh, so good.
I want to see more of that. See more of that guy. Yeah, that's actually one of the ones I'm looking for. I need Hellblazer 1. I got 2 and 3. I need 1. But, yeah, it's Bob Midnight, another great character. But that in the movie, I think they did a decent job, but I really like how they played into the whole neutral thing. I was a big fan of that until
Yeah.
the end where he's like, "Okay, I'm not neutral anymore."
Was that kind of
Yeah.
like the first time we saw when like flashes of John Wick? People keep asking me if I'm back. So I guess I'm back.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, the shotgun scene where he's got, like, the holy water shotgun situation, and he's, like, going into the room.
Which
Yeah,
how
that was
awesome
kinda
was that?
that was John Wickish, you're right. Oh, yeah, God, that was such a good that was it was like a golden holy shotgun.
Yes. It, the most like crazy thing you'll see. And it's just like poof, poof, poof. Demon
Oh,
explodes. Demon explodes. Demon
yeah.
explodes.
Very, very much the same energy as the first time you see Blade
Yes. And
and
I
the
think
whole,
that's
like,
one of the
vampire concept.
reasons why I loved that movie so much.
Mhm.
And to be honest, like that movie is what got me to read some of Constantine's comics because I I was one of the ones who didn't know that it was a DC movie or a DC
Mhm.
DC character.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job with that movie in my opinion. It's one of the again, I use that movie a lot when people are like, "I don't like comic book movies." I'm like, "Have you seen Constantine?" If they say yes, then I'm like, "Okay, well, you like a comic book
Mhm.
movie." And if they haven't seen it, then I make them watch it, and then they end up liking it anyway. So,
Blade is
um,
mine. Have you seen Blade?
mhm. Right, yeah,
Yes.
it's just one of those. This is it's a good movie, man. I'm sorry, it's not comic book worthy, but it's a good movie. I liked it, but yeah, yeah, they did a great job. Every at the I'm trying to think of the where he's a child and he can see all the
Oh,
demons and angels
yeah.
through their skins, and he's, like, tormented, and he, like, takes his life at, like, 15 or whatever,
That
and,
was
like,
heavy.
that was really heavy, and as much as that's not comic book, that's a pretty comic booky origin-y
It's definitely
story.
yeah. I mean, it's not his comic book like origin, but
Yeah,
that's very
eh,
very comic-y.
acceptable change, like, I wasn't mad at
Yes.
that change, like, it wasn't
And
like, "Oh, they completely changed the origin." No, it was a good one.
and
For
you
the
know
movie, it
what?
was good.
It made sense
Mhm.
for the route that they were going because they were going more of a bit
Biblical.
thank you.
Gotcha.
route.
Mhm.
I'm like the great aunt in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. A babopsy.
Uh,
Anyway.
such a good movie. Anyway.
um, what were we talking? Oh, right. So I'm so sorry. Um, so yeah, like they did a good job with making it more along those routes. But I would like in the sequel to see it more dive into the occult type
I would too.
thing and maybe step away a little bit from, you know, exorcisms.
Yeah, at least open the door up to other things. We kind of got like the little bonus scene where you see, well, spoilers, where you see Chaz go up to heaven from the tombstone. If you haven't watched the end of Constantine, all the way at the end, so it kind of gives some resolve there. It's an Elseworld story. If they want to do a DCEU introduction, I would love at least again a nod to Doctor Fate, a nod to Zatanna, or at least a nod to Bruce and Gotham. Just some kind of nod that it exists in the same universe. If it doesn't, whatever. Just be another good movie at least.
Yeah.
I can't really stress that enough. Please, please, please be a good movie. For the love of God, we need a good movie. DC fans, we need it.
I'm on the fence now about Black Adam. I really hope it's good,
Since we're
but
talking about it, no, the initial screenings are not coming back good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very much a hey Rock, use your social media clout to hype up our movie, please.
Which I know this is off topic, but that post about the DC Illuminati, bruh.
That's why I had to repost it. I was like, "You seeing this madness? You seeing what they're like?" Literally,
I'm sorry, guys. I know this is off topic, but it's
uh,
also kind of on topic as well.
there was a Reddit post that was somebody in the DC subreddit was like, "Okay, so this is DC's version of the Illuminati." Since people were asking, nobody was asking. Um, and it was like, I it was literally characters like I didn't even know of, and I had to look up, and I can't even remember them off the top of my head right now because it's stupid and doesn't matter. Uh,
Like, first off, it would be Dr. Fate, Constantine,
yeah, yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
It's like,
I feel like Swamp Thing, Aquaman as well.
yeah,
Um,
definitely
just
Swamp Thing.
yeah, yeah, because protector of Earth
Yeah.
essentially.
One of the
Uh,
lanterns.
Well, yeah, either yeah, I would even who would I put in that for one of the lanterns? Probably John Stewart. He's a little bit more he's a little bit more level-headed than Hal. If you wanted to have a good time, I guess you could pick Hal. I don't know. That would he
I
actually he was
I
not
I don't think I
no,
would pick Hal.
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't
By
trust him
the
after
way,
that
if
with
we ever get
anything.
another like Green Lantern movie, can it not be Hal?
Yeah, go Guy Gardner or go
Hmm.
John Stewart. Or even go like extremely recent with Simon or Jessica. I don't really care. Just yeah, don't do Hal. Don't touch him. Leave him alone. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Again, and kill off Barry already. Let's get Wally West. Let's forget the whole Ezra Miller Barry Allen thing. Let's get Wally West in there.
I'm for it.
Yeah,
Since apparently I saw they posted that Grant Gustin doesn't want to do Flash anymore.
oh, that makes sense. Man's been doing it for
9
like 9
years.
years. Yeah, 9, 10 years. Yeah,
It's a long time.
yeah, it is. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. If they go. If Keanu's, I want to see at least like a Dead Man cameo or like a Nightmare Nurse or like just something from the Justice League Dark Universe. I would love to see in the second Keanu Reeves. That's what I personally would
I
love to
think
see.
it would be really cool if they did that.
Yeah.
I I, I don't think they will.
Mm. Well, I saw B said it earlier. Like, what if they curveball it and introduce Swamp Thing?
I don't think they're going to do that. I mean maybe, but if they do that, then you know,
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I it's it's weird because as much as I want the Constantine movie to be DC extended universe stuff on the big screen. I don't. I
I
would pretty much want it to be standalone, its own thing, just kinda
Yeah,
do what it did, replicate the first movie.
because they did it well. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It was. It had some elements of the comics, which was good, but it was its own thing. And
like the
like,
spear,
yeah, oh yeah. Well,
very important. And the books, I mean, we could even do, I mean, look, we can even do a DC Darkhold situation with the Books of Magic and a Constantine story. Like, let's get that going. Like, there's some stuff they can grab from for sure. I don't know. Oh god, here they come. The Morbius memes. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna ban all of those.
He says introduce Joe Fixit. What is happening? No. Well, no. Stop that.
What?
That was
This-
that was another retcon I was reading about. Was the Hulk's retcon something about a green door
Oh yeah,
happening at the gamma explosion with happened with the Mortal Hulk? Yeah, I was reading about that too. I was like,
yeah,
what? Huh?
yeah.
They did what
So
with Hulk?
yeah, the Immortal Hulk fought the one below.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a whole realm like that's there. Craziness,
Yeah,
craziness.
Immortal Hulk
That
is
was
kind of scary. Joe
I've got to read
Fixit.
that.
Joe Fixit was basically the persona that the Hulk took up out in like Vegas, and he was
Hmm.
like a mafiosa.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Now is okay, so this is gonna be my lack of knowledge coming in. Is that different from Grey Hulk or is that Grey Hulk?
it's different from Gray
What's
Hulk
okay, so that's
because
different from Grey
when
Hulk.
the Hulk was first introduced, he was gray.
Right, he was gray.
Yeah.
And then he was green. So Grey
Yes.
Hulk is just like this is just that's just the first iteration. That's not like a different Hulk, like Red Hulk.
I'm not sure if they then made it a different
Uh,
Hulk or not.
right.
Listen, there are so many Hulks.
I know that's why I'm asking because I don't know.
But yeah, Red Hulk is, different, but
Well, yeah,
even
I
so,
know he's the general, but I'm saying
yeah.
like there's like a Hulk family. There's Hulks, there's
Yeah.
Hulkling, there's
Which
She-Hulk.
which Hulkling isn't a Hulk. He's
Right.
really a Skrull.
You scroll, right? Yeah, but Hulkling but considered in the Hulk family, I don't
Yeah.
understand how this works.
Yes.
I don't understand this.
Mm, you know.
Stop making it complicated.
And then, if you really want to get weird, there's the
Ugh.
dystopian society where they're,
Oh boy.
Bruce and Jen are a thing with kids.
Yeah, they're actually twerking to the beat of the music I'm listening to. Let's go. Yeah, I'm excited for Constantine. I think he's a great character. What else can we talk about? What else have we talked about that we could throw in? Um
Let's see.
oh, after was the brightest day, uh the Green wanted John Constantine to be the new Swamp Thing, and the Swamp and John Constantine tried to talk into the new resurrected Alec Holland back into being Swamp Thing, and dude said no and walked away.
Oh,
He's like, "Hey!" He's like, "Yeah, no, no, peace."
he held one of the yellow lantern rings.
He did.
Or not held, wore one of the
He
yellow.
wore. He
Yeah.
wore it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's also one of the few comic book characters, and I'm not sure if it's still true anymore. But at one point, he was aging with the comics. He was actually aging in continuity.
Yeah.
He went from like 37 to 57 or 58 or something like that. But I guess at one point he got Nagral's blood, which they're saying that it hasn't really been talked about. But the assumption is that that's slow at his aging.
So, you want to know another reason why I love Constantine? Are you ready for this? The man hates the word moist.
Does he really? That's
Yes.
funny. That's actually really funny.
Oh, he was
Uh,
in a punk band.
he was. Oh, how did I not even
How
talk
did
about
we
that?
not
Yeah,
talk
you're
about
100%.
that?
He was in a yeah, because the whole punk scene in the
Mm-hmm.
UK. Yeah, he was very much. Think of the Clash.
Pretty much.
That's basically what it was.
And all the band members were also occult members.
Yes, and they all kind of look like Sting. He sawed off Great Gabriel's wings with a chainsaw
Oh yeah.
after
Oh
tricking him
yeah.
into doing the naughty with a succubus,
Mm-hmm.
which pretty much removes your angelic status in God's eyes. So he got kicked out of heaven, and then Constantine just happened to be waiting there with a chainsaw couldn't have used a spell or anything less graphic. No, no, no. This is why I love 80s DC. 80s DC just did not care. They did. I'm reading question right now and it's insane. It's so like
That's like
raw.
it's almost like 90s The Fate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just edgy and just and
Or not The Fate, just Fate.
just fate, Mister. I'm gonna carve knives out of this idol. Oh yeah, Gavin Rossdale was in the movie. Yep.
Mhm.
No, it was, dude. It was just good across the board. At the very least, they should at least introduce Satana.
Yes.
At the very least,
I almost hope that they I feel like Dr. Fate should reference her
yeah,
in the Black Adam movie or the potential JSA movie, depending on how Black Adam goes. So, but I would love to see a Zatanna on the big screen.
I would too. I mean, he's had run-ins with like Phantom Stranger
Hmm.
as well, which is like if you really wanted to go deep cut and like really throw comic book fans for a loop, introduce him because that is again, you can do a multiversal cameo with that dude. There's so many ways to tie characters in together from this universe. I just want them to pick one.
We all want them to just pick one.
And if they're not going to, then again, I make it a good standalone movie or a sequel. Is it even? It's going to be a sequel,
It's
right?
going to
Have
be
we
a
confirmed that
sequel.
it's not
Yeah,
going to be like a
yeah.
reboot or
Nope,
anything?
it's
Okay,
a
it is a
sequel.
sequel. Okay, I was
Hmm.
just thinking about that. I was like, I don't remember reading it. Okay, so it is going to be okay. Let's get a solid sequel. Oh no, DC sequels are generally not good.
Yeah, but it's been a really long time. It's Keanu.
Yeah, you're right. It is Keanu. Yeah, I gotta have a little more faith. Batman Returns was good. It's the best Christmas movie. Die on that hill. She is related to the JSA. She's related to JSA, Justice League Jock, Justice League,
Justice League
and
Jock. That's what she just.
Justice League Dark. Sorry, what am I thinking about?
uh,
And she's related to something else, but yeah, because her father was
Zatara.
tied to JSA.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird romance that him, that he and John had, and then John and Zatanna had, or
Yeah,
John and Zatanna, and then I don't know.
yeah, and that's why I'm kind of thinking like I would at least want them to do a Zatanna reference in the Constantine 2 because then we have JSA and the Doctor Fate, and there's kind of like your tie-in reference
Hmm.
point moving forward if you want to build a universe. I just don't know if they're going to do that with Constantine. We're at a weird place because the first movie wasn't there was no DCEU. Now there isn't either, but we can hope. Uh, What did you just pull up? Stargirl. Wait, what? They already have the JSA on Star. What? So they've already got the cast list. So it's going to be. Oh, they got the same Lucifer back. Let's go, dude.
Nice.
Peter Stormare. I like that. Um, well, they're doing JSA in Black Adam, like as far as the DCEU, because the JSA and that's the CW verse, basically, essentially, is what that's being referred to as.
Oh, okay.
So there's a CW DC verse, which is
Right. That's a
Arrow, all
different.
that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a different
yeah,
universe. Yeah,
yeah.
because
Which I heard Stargirl was really good.
they kind of brought that in for one
Mhm.
of the crisis for the
Yeah,
crisis on Infinite Earths, because then the Flash, like actual Ezra Miller Flash, appeared on the show.
they're like
So
Earth 36 or like Earth 37. Somebody don't if I got that wrong, I apologize, but if I remember correctly, there is an established Earth for the CW universe. It's just not main continuity. It's not
yeah.
Earth Prime or whatever. Yeah, because they leaned into really heavy a lot of the Earth 2 stuff for the CW stuff.
Mhm.
Like really heavy because they knew nobody was really gonna touch it in main continuity. Well, they thought, because now they kind of are with the JSA. So pre-crisis stuff. Yeah, yeah.
That's really what they need to do. Honestly, though, that's what the DC needs to do, is have a crisis movie, and then they can just
Yeah,
rebuild.
I agree, but I feel like they for lack of a better term, blew all their writing load on the CW universe,
Oh yeah.
and they're like, none of those people want to do anything similar to the because I agree, do it, but they did a crisis event in the show, and it was really good. Uh, but I agree, they need to do it on the big screen and
Mhm.
actually like follow the comics and like hit that reset button, main continuitize everything, and then go forward in one straight line, which I thought was what we were doing, but apparently we weren't. So
Ta-da!
now we're doing a 10-year plan. That's not what we've been doing the past 10 years.
No.
What you been doing the past 10 years? Making terrible movies? Oh wait, yeah, that's what you've been doing. Let's see. Yeah. That's all I got for Constantine.
Same. So that's gonna do it. So that this is our season 2 finale, but there may be something dropping on
Oh,
Halloween.
oh.
So be sure to look for a super special Halloween episode dropping on
Mhm.
Halloween. But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate you taking the time to listen to From Comics to Cinemas. It's been an epic season 2. We
Been great.
can't wait to see you guys for season 3. Remember, you can catch the live recording of the podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday night. Well, starting in season 3 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Candyland Discord. And you can catch the upload every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a whole bunch of platforms. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Later.
Bye.